Section 108 of the Clean Air Act governs the NAAQS. If EPA determines that a pollutant may, quote, cause or contribute to air pollution, which may reasonably be anticipated to endanger public health or welfare, unquote, then EPA must act upon that determination. Section 108 has two parts. First, there must be a finding that the pollutant causes or contributes to air pollution. And second, there must be a finding that the pollutant may reasonably be anticipated to endanger public health or welfare. If both parts are met, then you have an endangerment finding. And once this happens, EPA must do something about that pollutant. EPA must use the latest scientific criteria on how pollutants affect human health and the environment. The criteria consists of a list of factors that, if met, rise to the level of endangering humans. Thus, these pollutants have become known as criteria pollutants for this reason. That is, they meet the criteria for listing. Every 5 years, EPA is supposed to revisit the standards and determine if an update is necessary. Our understanding of how pollutants affect our health change over time as we naturally advance in our knowledge. This usually means that the standards become stricter. More of that pollutant needs to be removed from the air. Revising, revisiting, changing standards is often very controversial because it requires installing more stringent controls, and the changes are always litigated, which delays their implementation or derails it for many years. Under Section 109 of the Act, EPA must prescribe a standard for each criteria pollutant, allowing for an, quote, adequate margin of safety to protect the public health, unquote, specifying the maximum quantity that should be permitted in the air. This means it's the maximum permissible pollutant concentration without consideration of cost. As mentioned in the previous slide, NAAQS are health-based standards and they don't consider cost, but when it comes to implementation, states can consider cost as they assess the best technologies to meet the particular technology standard. These are the NAAQS for 4 of the criteria pollutants. The primary standard applies to human health, and the secondary standard refers to health of things such as crops and animals. Sample averagings differ as well as the standard levels per pollutant. States are free to pick and choose the programs to achieve compliance with the NAAQS. I want to stress that point again. States are in the driver's seat when it comes to how it intends to meet the NAAQS within its borders. States can create source-specific emission limits or impose other requirements such as voluntary programs. A SIP is a lengthy document and is often revised, and it includes some of the items you see here. If EPA finds that the state SIP is adequate to meet the NAAQS, then it must approve the SIP. EPA gives great discretion to the state. Once this is done, the SIP becomes federally enforceable. In the rare circumstance where EPA disapproves a SIP, EPA can implement its own SIP, known as the Federal Implementation Plan, but this is rare. The hammer that EPA can use to compel states to submit an acceptable SIP is the potential loss of federal highway funds. This is a big deal for states because without these funds, the state would have to come up with its own funds for things such as road infrastructure.